Ja Morant, nobody believes you, bro. Nobody believes you. He's lucky if he's in a Memphis Grizzlies uniform next year.
So the latest word coming across my desk is that Stephen A. Smith is clowning Ja Morant for getting dropped by the Grizzlies. Y'all already know Ja is out for the rest of the season.
Well, we didn't want to believe it when the email came in from the Grizzlies about an hour ago, but the team confirming tonight that star player Ja Morant is out for the rest of the season.
And what's really being kept quiet is the actual reason. But now, people close to the locker room are alleging that Ja's transgender boyfriend was tired of being kept a secret and confronted the team and snitched on their romantic hookups. Now back to Stephen A. Smith. He publicly embarrassed Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies on national TV, and the craziest part is it's starting to feel like the league might actually be backing him up, because what used to look like a young superstar leading his team now looks like a situation falling apart in real time, and people are no longer hiding how they feel about it. And before we even get into everything happening behind the scenes, you need to hear exactly what Stephen A. said, because this wasn't normal criticism. This sounded personal.
They look like damn jokes. They were an embarrassment. And I don't say that kindly, and I don't say that with any joy in my voice or in my heart. I don't wish that on them.
Now, when you hear something like that, you might think it's just media doing what media does. But the reason this hit different is because of who it was aimed at. This wasn't just about the team losing. This was about how they looked, how they carried themselves, and more importantly, how Ja Morant looked as the face of that team. And that's when it started to feel off, because right after that loss, there was this one moment that really rubbed people the wrong way. It wasn't a turnover. It wasn't a missed shot. It was Ja Morant sitting on the bench, smiling, and Stephen A. Smith caught that too.
You lost by 51. Y'all down 50 and you on the bench laughing? Nah, I don't want to see that. I don't think anybody in Memphis wants to see that. People don't want to see you laughing when you get your ass kicked like that.
Now this is where everything really flips. Losing is one thing, but looking like you don't care while getting blown out like that, that's what fans don't forgive. And Memphis fans especially, they took that personally, because from their point of view, this wasn't just a bad game. This felt like the moment their leader checked out mentally. And what makes this even worse is, this didn't come out of nowhere. This was building. Now before that game even happened, there were already signs that something inside that locker room wasn't right. You had Ja Morant openly throwing subtle shots at his own coaching staff after a loss.
What went wrong to you today?
Go ask the coaching staff.
Do you feel like, there was anything you could do differently, I guess?
You go ask them. They had a whole spiel in here, so.
And when you hear a franchise player speak like that, it's not something you can just ignore. At that point, it stops being only about performance, it becomes about trust. And once trust starts breaking inside a team, everything else follows. Then you had another moment where Ja was caught on camera talking with his teammate Vince Williams Jr., and he made it clear he wasn't trying to go to the back for a private fight. Now that might sound small, but when you put it together with everything else, it starts painting a bigger picture. This looked like a team that was no longer moving as one. And while all of this was happening in public, something even bigger was already happening behind the scenes. According to reports, the Memphis Grizzlies have already made a decision on Ja Morant, and it's not what people expected. They are not planning to work with him on where he wants to go. They are sending him to whoever gives them the best deal. Now think about that for a second. This is a player who once represented the future of that franchise, and now they're treating him like an asset to move. And it only gets worse, because when teams around the league were asked if they wanted Ja, almost nobody came forward with a real offer. And that's not what you expect from someone with that kind of talent. That's when it hits you. This stopped being just basketball. This is about his name now. Now let's talk about why teams are hesitating, because this part matters more than people think. The Miami Heat were one of the few teams that even considered going after Ja Morant. You had people like Joe Johnson saying he would thrive there under strong leadership.
I think he'll thrive. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I think he'll thrive in that Miami situation.
See, come on, Joe, talk to me, Joe.
I'm saying because, you know what? One thing about Pat Riley, he gonna have a real sit down, a one-on-one with him.
And honestly, that sounds good on paper, but when you look deeper into it, the Heat backed off. They didn't even make a real move once they really looked at it. The risks were just too high. Injuries, suspensions, off-court drama, and a contract that's about to climb past $40 million. And once a team starts looking at you like a risk instead of a superstar, everything changes. Now here's where everything flips, because while the media keeps pushing the negative, there's a whole other side to Ja Morant that barely gets talked about. There was an 11-year-old boy named S.J. Pyron who got hit by a car and was fighting for his life. His family asked for help, and Ja Morant didn't just donate, he covered the entire goal himself. And after that, the total raised went up to over $40,000. So now you've got this situation where one side of the world sees Ja as reckless, and another side sees him as someone who actually shows up when it matters. And that's what makes this whole thing confusing, because it's the same person, but two completely different narratives. But even with that, the reality is the problems didn't stop. They kept stacking. You had the incident where Ja and his family were accused of assault after a high school volleyball game. Then you had moments where he's going viral for things that have nothing to do with basketball, like dropping 40 in a strip club.
Ja Morant caught in Shotgun Willie's strip club. Photos leaked of him looking like he's enjoying a nice lap dance. This was one of the reports on it. He allegedly spent over $50,000 on lap dances in the 2-night booty bender.
And when moments like that start defining your image more than your games, that's when teams start asking questions. Because now it's not just about what you do on the court, it's about what you represent. And then you add injuries on top of that. Ja Morant recently had to get a PRP injection for his elbow, which ended his season. And when you really look at his career, this isn't something new. He hasn't been able to get through a full season in years. So now you're dealing with a player who clearly has elite talent, but you never quite know if he'll be there. And in today's NBA, that matters more than ever, because teams aren't just betting on talent anymore. They're betting on who they can count on night after night. Now let's talk about something nobody really says out loud, but you can feel it shifting: respect. Because not too long ago, Ja Morant was one of the most exciting players in the league, and now you've got guys like Klay Thompson openly calling him out.
Is just running his mouth, and he's been running his mouth for a long time, and it's funny to run your mouth when you're on the bench.
And when other players start questioning you, that's different from media criticism. That means your peers are watching and judging. And once that respect starts slipping, it's hard to get it back. But here's the part that really ties it all together. This tension between Ja Morant and Stephen A. Smith didn't just pop up out of nowhere, it goes back. There was a moment when Ja went straight at Stephen A. on social media, standing up for Memphis, backing his team, and staying solid on loyalty. He even said, "Source me." Now that matters because it reveals who Ja believed he was in that moment: a leader, someone ready to stand by his city no matter what. And that's exactly why what's happening now hits different, because when Ja was just asked about his future, he stood 10 toes down on that loyalty. He said he has a Grizzlies logo tattooed on his back, and that should tell you everything.
If anybody in here knows me, I'm a very loyal guy. I got a logo on my back, so that should tell you exactly what I want.
But at the same time, the organization might already be moving in another direction. And that's where the disconnect becomes real, because now you've got a player who wants to stay and a team that might be ready to move on. And if you think things couldn't get more chaotic, they did. There were reports of Ja being targeted by thieves who stole around $1 million worth of jewelry from his home. Then you've got rumors linking him to Iggy Azalea.
And they're trying to trade Ja Morant so bad, but nobody wants to do that package because his contract is too big and his stats have been down. He injured himself. He has a shoulder injury or something. No, how the dunk anymore? Wow! I know. You know ball. I do know some ball.
And even if that sounds random, it actually feeds into the bigger picture, because now his life feels uncertain and teams don't like that kind of uncertainty. Now step back and really take it all in. You've got a player getting clowned on national TV, a team that looks like it's ready to move on, a league that's not fully sold on him, a fan base split down the middle, and a career sitting right at a breaking point. And this is where it really starts to hit, because not too long ago, Ja Morant was being seen as the future of the NBA. The energy, the highlights, the confidence, it was all there. But now everything feels up in the air. His leadership, his focus, his role in Memphis, even how the rest of the league looks at him, it's all being questioned. So the question isn't just what happens next. The real question is, did Ja Morant lose control of everything around him, or did the league quietly stop believing in him? Because if this really is the end of Ja in Memphis, then what we're watching right now isn't just criticism, it's the fallout. And the crazy part is, we still don't know if this is the beginning of his comeback, or the moment everything actually fell apart.